Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan Nair. Here, basically, we were talking about the formulas, and this is basically 165 number part of the formula. Till 164, we have saw basically lots of things, and in 65, basically, we are going to discuss a little bit more about the formulas. The things which we discussed in last video was uh, the Bollywood group, basically how Bollywood groups is selling that we have the control of entire software industry and the 16 to 17 sectors. Mostly, basically, you can say 70 percentage categories are under control of Bollywood group. So, like this, we saw that around more than 30 to 40 crore human clones basically are existing in this world, which is actually created by the Bollywood group only. So basically, this was told by one of the Bollywood person. That basically I'm not telling. This was told by one of the Bollywood person. He told that mostly basically we have the control of each and every sector, and in this basically the software industry is one of the sectors. So we know that basically the 20,000 buildings. We have taken one example of 20,000 buildings, and 20,000 building is the uh, source basically of the software industry. So 20,000 building is the source of the software industry. If this 20,000 buildings by chance ends, just taking it as an example, because you have to think up to the worst level. So what would be the alternative of the world? How basically world is going to uh, see the future basically? Because if this building ends, that means Microsoft energy gets and Salesforce energy gets and each and every basically human needs which is created. For example, till now assume that from Microsoft around 1,000 human needs got created. That means these 1,000 needs which basically the body has consumed, that bodies are going to affect and going to affect the structure basically of the body structure, you can say. For example, Microsoft from Microsoft blood cells, um, thousands of human needs were getting created, and from that thousands of human needs, you can say uh, around 15,000 blood cells and subcells has created from this 1,000, from this 1,000 human needs energy basically, you can say. So like this 15,000 human needs basically is going to get effect just from Microsoft blood cells. So you can just imagine the critical level of the software energy which basically is already created basically, you can say. So like this, the software energy is also created, and from software energy basically you can say that the each and every part are also created. The software industry is basically uh, might be 100% knowing that they are getting controlled by the software industry. How basically? Because each and every display part, that is basically the software industry, how it should be look, where the cabin should be, where the which cabin basically is specially created for which groups. So like this, each and every sectors basically are created by the software industry, so by the Bollywood groups, because their task stuff is to design each and everything. So this is about the Bollywood industry group. They told that they are telling that they have created the software industry. Now here basically we were discussing about the Bollywood group who dies. For example, the in last 2 months, assume that around 5 to 6 Bollywood groups has died. Bollywood people basically connected with Bollywood people has died. So Bollywood says that we don't basically fire the people. We give this the body the USA basically. In human cloning business, USA is the best number. That's why basically USA is number one, and USA is earning the up to that level of money. So this is the main source basically, you can say, the income of the USA. Due to them, otherwise basically from one simple software basically you can't earn up to this level of money. One CRM software, assume that one CRM software, one of the USA company created. the banking software created, you can earn up to maximum 200 to 300 crore dollars. But more than that, basically, you can't earn. So there are basically certain uh, level of income, basically, you can say that is basically the human cloning business, which is already created, and around 30 to 40 crore basically human cloning families are basically existing. And this family assume that they have created around 1 crore planets in the sky, basically in the human in the universe, basically with the help of this software company like Microsoft, IBM. So IBM basically are up to the main business holder of the human cloning. So this is basically the business, and everybody knows that basically business are not done for charity, and each and every basically company, software company, basically they earns the money. This is the basically the main income basically of the software of the Earth planet basically. So like this, basically the Bollywood industry is telling that we have created up to certain level of human cloning groups, and we have sent 1 crore planets to the Earth planet, to the universe. So 1 crore planet is created in the universe, and we are basically controlling from the Earth planet. So just see the what actually what, the Bollywood group's plan is. That might be Bollywood group only, might be no, but by default, basically you can understand that Bollywood group want to control the entire universe, and Bollywood group basically previously it was in Kolkata, but they shifted the Kolkata group shifted the entire Bollywood industry to Mumbai. But it's not that Kolkata is still basically handling the Bollywood industry. All the writers basically of the singing groups are from the Kolkata. That is not the way basically I'm telling. So each and every people, basically the real people who are into Bollywood, who are the main holders basically you can say of the Bollywood, who are the main writer of the Bollywood, who are the main script writer, directors, and the producer. They basically are 100% staying in Bollywood. Sorry, in Mumbai. And Mumbai basically, you can say uh, it has around I think 700 to 800 kilometers. Basically, this is just rough example, but mostly it's up to that level kilometers are there basically. You can say. Uh, it's spreaded it's spreaded basically to this level basically. Let's say. So sorry, not Mumbai basically is very less, but at Maharashtra basically you can say that's spreaded into the. I'm talking about entire round circle basically, left, right, bottom. Then if you calculate this, then basically you will reach up to this level number only. So it's not around the straight train, like a train basically is going, and train kilometer calculates the length basically. That basically from Vadodara to Mumbai basically it's how many kilometers? It's basically more than I think some kilometers are there. But if you calculate Vadodara city is consist of around 16 to 70 kilometers, right? But if you calculate left side, top side, bottom side, and the right side, like this calculate, if it's happened, then basically it connects to double to triple width basically and height. So here basically we are not talking about the height basically, because height basically Vadodara city has got, for example, height basically how basically we are telling how height means, you can say the building's top basically, the high level of buildings basically. Up to what level, high level of building basically the permission is given to the Vadodara city. So cities are basically by default created by the Bollywood industry, that basically everybody knows. So software industry is telling that, Bollywood groups are telling that software industry we have created on the set of user stories, and on the set of user stories the 20,000 buildings has been created for the Bollywood, for the software industry. And the Bollywood industry is selling that we have done the human cloning business also. Sorry, the human cloning system also. Human cloning system is if anybody person dies, then their body basically are not disposed. They do the human cloning with the help of the chemicals given by the America, and America is telling that we have created that chemical from the IBM softwares, Microsoft software, and many software companies are there. So basically, who are just into this chemical business basically of the human cloning basically. You can say. And this is basically you can just imagine the income level basically because who basically will do the human cloning, who have a good level of money. I have taken one example in last video that there was one family basically that are not family basically around 30 to 40 people were in boat, riding in boat. Sorry, they were basically moving in boat in Sursagar Lake. There is one lake in Vadodara city. In that lake, basically, previously boat was basically allowed, and nowadays basically it's not allowed. Due to after that incidents, they have stopped the uh, boat boat system basically. So that time basically around I think 19. 80s basically you can say the got accident, and in this basically lots of people has died. In that basically there was one small child. He basically was also died, but one of the American and one of the UAE people, the country name might be anything basically, I'm not disclosing the country name, but that group basically cloned that small child and created that child into the human basically. So that child into the human body basically. So like that basically child got he basically become young and then basically converted into big businessman basically. So one of the big businessmen, he is in Mumbai. He basically was in Mumbai. So he was basically the one of the businessmen. That was basically that small child who was died in Sursagar Lake. So like this, his families has also generated, and then like this, the business basically you can say this basically each and everything basically government knows because within with permission of government only each and everything is happening. USA is friend of Hindustan, that is basically India. So if they are a friend of India, that means by default basically you can just assume that permission is not LND does. Why? Because USA is a friend of India. So USA, if USA country is a friend of India, then basically why you need the permission? You just clone the people, and that people you can clone them and earn the money. So like this, basically in USA and UAE are basically the most richest country, basically you can say, and the money basically which is getting that the main business is the human cloning business, you can say. So like this, the human clone industry came into picture. Any human cloning business, basically the big software company like IBM, Microsoft, Cobol, C, C++, and many languages are there, which basically helps in creating the human cloning business. And this basically each and every stuff is already done basically. And more than 1 crore planet is also generated in the universe. So like this Bollywood industry is telling that they are going to take the control of universe basically. You can say. And Mumbai basically everybody knows where the Mumbai is, and all original people are staying there in only the Bollywood groups. Each and every people are staying there only. So Bollywood. Then basically I have taken one story basically of Sunil R. Nair, that is basically myself, and one of the friend of his. He was basically in Bollywood, and he told a few stories basically, and few stories basically we have discussed in previous video. The story was like this. That he told that how basically Bollywood industries is keeping the control of each and every sector. Then basically they told that our people basically who dies, so they mostly basically gets a good life basically you can say. They are placed in the good level of sector basically after cloning, and cloning is done by which country? That is basically friend of in Indian, sorry, friend of India, that is USA, and friend of India, that is UAE. So UAE basically says that we can do anything for India country because the main income is coming from this only. That is basically human cloning business. So like this. Otherwise, up to what level you can earn in the retail industry also. From mall, basically, up to what level amount you can earn. From software industry also, up to what level amount you can earn. You can just imagine the profit level basically. It's not from that much profit basically. You can't run the country. Means you can't maintain the living standard of the USA and the UAE. If basically USA president visit any country, then basically I have taken one example of 1 lakh crore dollar is the expense of the USA president. Just taken as an example, basically in real, basically the number might be very less also. It might be some 10 crore, 100 crore. But just taking it as an example that up to this level, basically the software industries are basically thinking. So like this. Um, we were discussing about the Bollywood industry. We were discussing about the sales industry, and this basically, these all are the basically you can say the root of the sales. Also, you can say how basically root of the sales, because IBM is telling that we have created this person that is basically done the human cloning, and we know basically his body structure, and we know up to what level basically his body structure is going to think, and what he is going to have as a human need, and what would be his daily human needs basically. So that basically we have setting, we are basically setting his human needs and each and everything basically, because we have the control of his body. So basically if we have the control of his body, then basically they can do anything. So like this basically IBM groups, Microsoft groups, they have the control of each and every body structure also. That also you can say. But mostly basically don't people don't do any negative activities like this, they don't break anyone's head, they don't break anyone's eye, they don't break anyone's ear, they don't break anyone's hand, they don't break anyone's leg. So like this basically they don't do any harmful to the to the blood groups basically who is having the software blood groups. um, so, like this, basically, we were discussing about the human cloning industry, which is already created and which has dumped lots of human clones in the world. And on the base of that, 1 lakh, around 1 crore, sorry, around 30 crore people are human cloned also, and around more than 1 crore um, Earth planet like planet are created also. So you can just imagine the creation level also of the you can say of the human cloning industry. That is basically by default handled by the software industry. But the chemical basically which chemical is getting used, that is also basically created from one of the softwares basically you can say. If you want to control any human body, then basically you should able to first you will control his body bloods basically, right? Then basically you controls his body structure. Then basically you can control his each and every activities basically. So like this basically each and every things are getting controlled. Like this around assume that there are 30 crore human clones, and this is basically getting controlled by the USA and UAE. So this is the main business of the India's country's friend, that is basically USA and UAE. And like this basically you can say that this is also one of the sales part, because sales means what, this this product is supposed to be sold, this product is supposed to be sold. So that is the basically sales, right? So you can say that the IBM, the Microsoft, they basically handle the sales of these 30 crore people, because it's fact basically. If you are controlling each and every body parts, then basically you are by default handling the demand and supply of that particular person. So the few things basically we have discussed in morning also. In this next level part, that was basically the previous level part, that is basically 164 and 163 basically. In that also we have discussed lots of things about the human cloning, the sales industry, up to what level the sales is. The higher level of sales is basically to creating the planets. and this basically everybody knows like that, because if you are in Earth planet is moving in sky, moving in many galaxies, many universe. So by default, basically you are sending the energy to the universe, basically, right? And with the help of nuclear power company energies and power companies, basically, and nuclear power company. These are the base of the, you can say, the base of the sales, basically, you can say. So like this, the sales is getting handling, each and every stuffs are getting handled, basically, you can say. And in this handling, basically, the sales comes into the picture by default, basically. They are not doing anything, they are telling that we have done the expense. If you are doing any human cloning to any person, basically, so what might be the cost, basically, you can just imagine, like to create one human clone, basically. If any person is basically dying, then basically up to what level amount everybody spends, that basically everybody knows. So you can just imagine the profit margin of the one human clone. And human clone only rich people can only able to do. Normal people can do human clone. No, it's not possible. Because if you are purchasing any chemicals of the human cloning, then basically it costs in crores, basically, you can say. So here basically it was about the sales industry, you can say. Sales, up to what level the sales has reached, that also you can say. Up to what level the sales has reached, and up to what level the sales is going to reach with the help of governments, basically. Because in this each and every parts, basically, which is getting handled, which is getting covered, that is by done by the permission of government, basically, because they are also getting money. How government will survive, that is also basically the question. One, but that Bollywood person asked me that how Bollywood, how government is getting survive. So like this, basically, he has given lots of examples, and lots of few examples also we are going to discuss. And here basically we are stopping here. That is the 165 number part, and in 166 we are going to discuss a little bit more about the formulas.